you ever made a promise to somebody, made a commitment that you would follow through on something that you weren't really sure if you could possibly do it? I'm Doug Thompson. I'm the host of Nights of the Blind. It's a program that focuses on people that have done just that, not just for a week or for a year, but for decades. Back in 1925, Helen Keller attended a convention of volunteers, of Lions Club members, and she asked them to take up her cause to address preventable blindness and hearing loss. And Lions Club members not only said yes to Helen Keller back in 1925, but here it is almost 90 years later, and every day, especially here in Oregon, that promise is being kept. Tonight, our guest is a gentleman by the name of Art Abbott, who's a member of the Gresham Breakfast Lions.
Yes.
And you've helped fulfill that promise, in not only in your community of Gresham, but throughout the state of Oregon.
Yes.
So a program that we've talked about a little bit on previous episodes of Nights of the Blind, and we're going to focus on it tonight, is this mobile health screening program. And I understand that you had just a little bit to do with creating the Lions mobile health screening program here in Oregon.
Yes, I was very fortunate to be in the right place at the right time. I had attended a USA-Canada Foundation Forum back in Omaha, Nebraska, saw the program that they were implementing there and who their corporate sponsor was, and brought the concept back to Oregon, and soon after we implemented it.
So in 1994, this program, this mobile health screening program, started here in Oregon. What did the program look like 20-some years ago?
Well, the goal of the program was to take our foundation all across Oregon, to take it to every club, every community, and our goal was to do screening for those people that maybe didn't otherwise see a doctor, could otherwise not maybe afford to see a doctor, and we wanted to do screening for vision, glaucoma, hearing, blood pressure, diabetes. And so we built a 60-foot tractor trailer that was mural painted on both sides to give it a real billboard look, and we went all across the state doing the mobile health screening.
And when you say we, you're referring to Lions Club members?
The Lions Club members. The local Lions Club would sponsor the trailer, truck and trailer, into their community, work with their local medical teams to come volunteer on the unit to do screening in their own community, and then provide the assistance for those people that needed assistance right there in their communities.
Well, you know, and today, of course, healthcare is such a hot-button issue. And I think we all know that so many people lack health insurance. And it sounds like the Lions really were getting out in front of this issue 17, 18, 19, about
Yes.
20 years ago. And
Yes.
so, again, an example of being Knights of the Blind because of the vision screening, the hearing screening, and you mentioned also screenings for, what were the three? Blood pressure?
Blood pressure, glaucoma, hearing, vision, diabetes.
So really a somewhat comprehensive opportunity for somebody lacking health insurance, maybe not going to the doctor, to have those issues checked.
Right.
Which is, well, thank you on behalf of those that lacked health insurance for doing that. Now, Art, I understand that a couple of years ago, you did an assessment of the program and found out that while it was having a significant impact, it was screening a lot of people, that if I understand it right, actually 9 out of 10 people that were being screened were actually children in the schools. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, as we learned that and we found the need to screen in schools, it's interesting because the state mandates that all the schools screen their children for vision and hearing. Mm-hmm. The unfortunate part is that they provide no funds to do that. So as we learned that, we tried to step forward and to fill that need with some of the schools in providing a vehicle for them to do that screening with the school kids. The problem was that the 60-foot tractor trailer was too cumbersome to get around to all the schools that quickly. So we've implemented a fleet of vehicles along with kits that are mobile enough that can fit right in the cars, and we're able to screen vastly more people. As an example, the past year we screened some 50-some thousand people, of which 94% of that was students.
That's amazing.
So
it's amazing.
we're giving them a vehicle to get the job done.
So I've been invited, and I've seen one of these school screening events prior to the fleet of vehicles being added, and I saw the truck, and I saw the kids, literally going down the hallway, out through the parking lot, into the back of the truck. And while it was a great program, I think it took all day to screen maybe 200 kids.
Yes.
Can you give us an idea of how many kids are being screened now? Because now it's happening back in the school, as like when you and I were kids and we had our vision screened. It was in the gymnasium probably, or the cafeteria.
Correct.
Really the way it should be.
Yeah.
And great that the Lions created this program with the truck, but now it's working out much better back in
We're
the
literally
schools.
screening about 5 times as many people as we could with just the truck. Well, with the vehicles, you obviously can, with the truck you could screen 1 school. Now we've got a fleet of 6 cars.
Yeah.
We can screen 6 schools. In the amount of time that it would take to screen a school with the truck, we can screen 2 schools. So we're literally 6 times the vehicle plus double the speed.
Yeah, it's just amazing. And at some point, I believe we have an image of some of these vehicles that we're going to show our audience. But in the meantime, what I want to point out and have you reinforce this is that it's a big issue for kids to have their vision and their hearing screened. In fact, here's the vehicles. So there's that's the truck there in the background.
That's the truck in the background that you see.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about what people are seeing there, Art?
The truck is basically the first model that we came out with, and as they enter that vehicle, we use that for community screenings now rather than school screenings.
And when you say community screenings, tell
That
us
would
what
be like a health fair or a county fair or some community event that's going on in the community.
The Blues Festival?
Blues Festival.
Okay.
Out in Gresham, we're going to be sponsoring it to do the Veteran Stand-Down Days in Gresham. And we can literally walk them in the front door, take them through the vision, the glaucoma, the blood pressure, the diabetes screening. As they walk on through, they go into a soundproof booth and their hearing is tested, and then out the back door.
That's great. And I saw an article in yesterday's Oregonian where all those vehicles are kind of spreading out around the state this fall and screening all kinds of communities. I think I read Enterprise and Redmond and Joseph and all these smaller communities throughout Eastern Oregon, Central Oregon. So again, you've got, instead of one battleship out there, you've got a bunch of speedboats helping children.
That's the whole mission, is to have the vehicles positioned strategically around the state where the team can go right from where that vehicle is to get to the states, to get to the cities and the towns within their region.
Great. So you work with the Oregon Lions Sight and Hearing Foundation, which is based in Portland, but partners with Lions clubs throughout Oregon.
Correct.
And so when I mention these towns, big and small, whether it's Portland, Salem, Eugene, or Redmond, Enterprise, Lakeview, there are Lions clubs.
Yes.
And they, like the Gresham Breakfast Lions, provide the volunteers working with the statewide Lions organization to go into the schools and do these screenings.
Correct.
Great. So what I understand is that in Oregon, while we live in a great state, sadly, we don't have many school nurses, at least not as many as we used to have, which means schools that don't have nurses might be less likely to do these screenings, and this is where you step in, correct?
Right. We literally step in. Either the Lions Club brings in the staff, or we work with the school and the Parent Teachers Association to provide the volunteers. We'll set up the equipment, show the volunteers how to use the equipment, and bring the kids in and literally move them right through the screening.
So I understand from our last guest, one of your staff members at the foundation, a gentleman by the name of Brad King, was showing off this photo screener, and he was kind enough to let you bring it tonight also. And if I understand it right, this is a computerized camera. It looks like a Polaroid, but it's much more sophisticated in that it will actually take a snapshot of your eyes.
Yes.
And can instantly not only tell your prescription, but it can read whether or not you're nearsighted or farsighted. If you have what's called amblyopia, or what's lazy eye, In other words, it can tell whether or not a child needs to go to the eye doctor.
Yes, it literally takes the human error factor out of it. We teach the volunteer how to use it, which is, like you say, running a camera. It provides instant results, very objective results, so it literally eliminates the human error. One other real advantage to us is it compensates for language barriers, because it just kind of sidesteps language issues.
Which is important. Last fall here in Beaverton, I was able to attend a screening event at one of the grade schools. And I tell you, if you haven't had an opportunity to volunteer and help screen children's vision, do so. In a few minutes, we're going to put up I believe, a phone number that you can call if you're interested in volunteering to help children right here in the Beaverton area. Because if I understand it right, every single Beaverton school, and Tigard, if I understand it right, Tigard Tualatin.
Yes.
All of these grade schools are being screened by the Lions.
That's correct.
The fall of 2013. And you need more help, is that right?
And we need more help.
And there's a phone number with an email address if that's more convenient for you, just to let us know. Let the Lions know that, yes, I'd like to come in and volunteer a day or maybe 2 days. What I learned when I helped out last fall is that some of these kids, they're just so cute. Some of them are, first grade, even younger, kindergartners, and it's not even a language barrier, but there's that shyness factor where the kid was just so bashful, they didn't want to tell us whether or not they could tell if it was a house or a circle or whatnot. This eliminates
that
and addresses the bashful factor.
Yes,
yeah,
it does.
So how long does it take to screen a child using this?
Literally just taking the picture and the results are there.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you the exact number of seconds.
So
but
it's just
instantaneous.
Like that.
Yes.
Great. Okay, and again, from our past guests and from yourself, I've also learned that it's critical that we find out whether or not a child needs eyeglasses, from the standpoint that a lot of kids that don't read well, it's simply because they don't see well. It's not because they're not smart or they just simply haven't learned to read. It's because they can't see what's on the page in front of them. And,
yes.
And I think that we only know the world as we see it, and a lot of children just don't know that, hey, I need glasses, and that way I can read well and keep up with my classmates and grow up to be successful.
Well, and I had that experience. I first realized first found out I needed glasses when I went into the first grade, and I was having trouble seeing the blackboard. And the teacher picked up on it, and hence I wore glasses. And
so just out of curiosity, that's a great story. When you were in first grade, how many students would you say were in your class at the time?
It was a small school in Twin Falls, probably 25.
Okay, so here's an issue, and it's a real challenge for today's teachers, where they probably have 33, maybe 35, 36 students.
Maybe more.
And little Art isn't necessarily being caught as struggling.
Hidden in the background.
And so kids slip through the cracks. They needed glasses, but nobody knows it. And then we wonder why they're not learning well. Well, quite often it's because they're not seeing well. If anybody at home is interested in helping address this issue, again, you can contact the Lions and say, yes, I'd like to volunteer. I want to help little Art identify whether or not he or she can see well. So it's just fantastic in terms of what you're doing with kids. And in fact, those that are interested in helping can be Knights of the Blind. Maybe you'll be on the TV show one day. You never know. So take us up on that and contact us and let us know that you'd like to help. Okay, so what happens for today's child that it's identified that, wow, they need to go to the eye doctor? What if the parents can't afford to take them to the eye doctor? What can happen then?
Well, we have several assistant programs that we steer them towards. One of them is the KEX Needy Kids Fund, which is for the KEX listening area. Mm-hmm. Their Sight for Student voucher program out there. If it's a hearing or a vision thing or hearing instant, we have a Roar Hearing Assistance program that we've partnered with All America Hearing on a voucher program, or the local Lions Club will step in and provide assistance if those are all exhausted.
Okay, and let's make sure that we take a moment to emphasize that. There's really no reason why a child today in Oregon that has a need from a vision and a hearing standpoint, there's no need for them to go without
That's correct.
eyeglasses or hearing aids.
That's
for
correct.
that matter. And then I'm going to ask for that number to be put up on the screen again, because this is such an important issue. If you know of somebody, a child that is in need of eyeglasses or an eye exam or a hearing exam and maybe hearing aids, give us a call at this number or send us an email. Because there are resources that will help any child. There's the Oregon Health Plan, but a lot of people don't qualify for the Oregon Health Plan, or they don't know how to qualify. By contacting this number, you can be put in touch with a Lions Club in your area and the Lions Sight and Hearing Foundation, which will connect you to these resources. You mentioned, I just love Paul and Vicki Lindman and the KX Kids Fund. They're going to be guests on our show here soon.
Oh, great.
For many years, they've done a telethon around the Thanksgiving time of year, and boy, the community here in the Portland, Beaverton area responds to that in such an amazing way, providing funds that will provide exams and eyeglasses. You also mentioned the Sight for Students program, which is made available through an insurance company by the name of Vision Service Plan. There are resources available so that any child, regardless of their background, their economic level, can get examinations and can get corrective lenses and hearing aids.
Yes.
So that they can succeed academically, succeed socially, and grow up and maybe be a Lion one day.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So let's talk a little bit more about Lions.
Okay.
Tell us about the Gresham Breakfast Lions. What do they do in the community?
Well, the Gresham Breakfast Club chartered, just happened to charter the year that I moved over here. Missed by 2 weeks being a charter member, but they chartered in '79. We've got about 50 members from literally all walks of life in the Gresham area. We're a breakfast club. We meet every week at 6:45. Have a guest speaker that's somebody that's timely to the area.
Yeah, I got to stop you there. When you said Gresham Breakfast, I pictured Saturday morning at 9 o'clock. Y'all met. You meet at what time?
6:45 every Thursday morning.
Wow.
And it's the best way to get your day started ever. We have a lively group of Lions, men and women, literally from all walks of life. We go and we break bread in the morning. We listen to a guest speaker. We listen to how we're going to raise the money to support the projects that we want to spend our money on. And then we go out and spend our money.
So spending your money, I think I know that it's more than just doing the school screenings and
Correct.
the mobile health screening throughout your community. How else do the Gresham Breakfast Lions help people?
Well, there's literally 3 facets in Lionism. There's Lions Club International. We make contributions to them, which is similar to our Oregon Lions Sight and Hearing Foundation, only on a global basis. We have our Oregon Lions Sight and Hearing Foundation that we make contributions to, that's our state charity, and every club in the state is a stockholder in the charity and has a say. And then each club has their local projects. Give you 2 examples. We have 2 children that we've assisted over the years. Chrissy, who had cerebral palsy extremely bad. We built wheelchair ramps, got a hospital bed for her, took Santa Claus to her at Christmas time, and just the heartwarming things to help her get by from day to day. We have Hannah, who is a blind, visually impaired girl that we've helped with her summer camps to further her education. In fact, she's now up to the point where she's entering into advanced education, and we're trying to help and assist in that area. We deal with Christmas families every year. Last year we had 7 families that we bought literally Christmas for. We give scholarships to both the Gresham and Boring High School. So we do literally local community
Sounds like
service projects.
you do quite a bit. You
Yes.
have a very significant impact in a variety of ways. Congratulations and thank you for doing that. I want to learn a little bit more about lions. I've heard of eagles and lions and I guess there's probably falcons and water buffalo and all these different animals and I guess the lions are a little bit different. In fact, the lions are, I guess, the first service club
Yes.
that was created, and if I understand it right, worldwide you're the largest.
We're the largest service club. I couldn't quote you how many clubs we have, but we're literally global. We're in all the free countries of the world, and a lot of them that aren't free. We're about 1,400,000 in population, and whenever disasters strike, the lions are the first there. The earthquake in Haiti, the floods at Vernonia, providing assistance even to buy our mobile health screening unit. The Lions International was providing a grant for that. So yes, they are the largest in the world.
Yeah, in fact, I've mentioned in previous shows that we have this amazing research team on Knights of the Blind. And what they helped identify for me was that lions, actually within the last, I think, 10 or 15 years, actually played a key role in eradicating river blindness
Yes.
in third world countries. Talk about being Knights of the Blind. So it isn't happening just here in Beaverton or Oregon or the United States. This is a movement
It's a global.
that is having a significant impact worldwide. It's really amazing.
Yeah.
And it must feel great to know that that you've been part of this effort for a significant amount of time. You mentioned just missing out on being a charter member of the Gresham Breakfast Lions, but you were a Lion before coming to Oregon. Where were you then?
I joined in 1967. Doesn't seem like it could be that many years ago, but it is. Started in Reno, Nevada with the Reno Arch Lions Club, and from there I transferred to Boise, Idaho, and was a member of the Boise Bench Lions Club, and ultimately moved over here and have been in the Gresham Breakfast Club since then. So, and the rewards are the same in any one of the three. Or anywhere you're at for Lions.
So is it complicated to join a Lions Club?
It is not complicated.
How does a person go about doing that?
Well, if you find someone that you know is in Lions, ask them about it. You can find out about most of the Lions clubs by just Googling. If you go and you typed in Gresham Lions, the Gresham Breakfast or the Gresham Supper Club would pop up on the screen. You can go to Facebook, type in Gresham Breakfast Lions on Facebook, or probably any Beaverton Lions, and it would probably pop up. We're a member of the Gresham Chamber, and I think some clubs are associated with their Chamber of Commerce. So in our area, they would contact the Chamber, and they would refer them to us.
And of course, there's been a phone number that's been up on the screen. If we put that number up again, is that a
Yes.
number that people could
Yes.
contact and could ask, hey, where's my local Lions Club? There's the number right there. It's 503-413-7399, and there's some great people that'll answer the phone there. If you call that and say, hey, here's where I live in Beaverton, where's my nearest Lions Club, and that information will be given to you. And I'm pretty sure that Lions Clubs love to have visitors come and visit their meetings. Does every Lions Club meet in the morning at 6:45 though?
No.
Because that might scare some people off.
They meet all. You can find lunch clubs, you can find supper clubs, you can find breakfast clubs.
But they eat. It sounds like they all eat. So
They do.
okay. So there's something in it for
Good, healthy food.
for somebody that wants to be a guest and a visitor to a Lions Club meeting. It sounds like they're going to get fed.
That's correct.
Great. Okay. Terrific. So we've mentioned just briefly a little bit about this Oregon Lions Sight and Hearing Foundation. And again, our research team has unearthed that you've been affiliated with this organization for some time.
Yes, I have.
Can you tell us a little bit about the background, the leadership roles that you've played with the Lions Sight and Hearing Foundation?
I don't remember the exact year, but it was back in the 90s that I was elected to the Board of Trustees at the foundation. Served 6 years on the executive board, 2 years as the treasurer, and then in other positions, culminating with being chairman of the Oregon Lions Sight and Hearing Foundation. That was the year that we put the mobile health screening program together. Probably one of the most exciting things I was involved in, because the state Lions of the state jumped on board. We had a commercial sponsor with Regents Blue Cross Blue Shield. That this program wouldn't be around if it wasn't for the commercial sponsorship to help us get the unit funded and running. And then just the success of what we've done over the years. Probably the motivation for both involvement at the foundation and in my own Lions Club, I take motivation and I change the word to pay. The pay we get is seeing the gratitude on the faces of those we help. It can just melt your heart when you see the smiles or the happiness that they get from receiving the assistance that we do.
So it sounds as though you actually receive even more than what you give as a volunteer for almost 50 years. It's just amazing. And I know that we've spoken about school screenings and helping children, but your involvement with the Lions Sight and Hearing Foundation has also had an impact on adults throughout Oregon. And I'd like to ask you, we don't have much time left, but very briefly, your partnership as a Lion with the Lions Sight and Hearing Foundation can help people, adults, also receive eye exams and eyeglasses.
Correct.
I understand there's a program called the LEAP program. Can you tell us a little bit about Lions eyeglass assistance?
Yes. Again, it's a voucher plan. I compliment our staff at the foundation offices for putting this program together. Through a partnership with Vision Service Plan and Prevent Blindness America, we're able to go out and help adults in our community to get the glasses that they need.
And these aren't used glasses. I know the
are
Lions
brand new
collect.
glasses.
You collect used eyeglasses,
Yes.
and they go overseas.
Yes.
Primarily, maybe
Primarily.
to Africa. I met somebody recently who's going to Peru in a couple of months, and then Mexico. Used eyeglasses go overseas, but you're talking about brand new eyeglasses.
Brand new eyeglasses.
Like the ones you're wearing there.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. So you help people with eyeglasses. We can talk more about that in a future show, but there's a new program now where you're providing new hearing aids.
Correct.
That's amazing.
It's called the Roar program.
Well, I say it's amazing because I know how much hearing aids cost. And those of you at home probably know that hearing aids, a hearing aid can cost $2,000.
Correct.
It can cost more than that. And you're somehow providing brand new hearing aids.
Brand new
to
hearing
people.
aids.
How are you doing that?
Very similar to the Vision Elite program. It's a voucher program. If they meet the qualifications, they can get the hearing aids through the Lions, through the partners that we have there.
Art, you help kids, you help adults. Helen Keller will be proud. You are a Knight of the Blind, and we hope one day you'll do the same. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Knights of the Blind.